everyone today. My name's Eric. I really appreciate you stopping by to check out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to make smoked sous vide swineapple. Now you might say, swineapple, what is that? Well, to sum it up, it's a nice clever play on two of the main ingredients. Swine, meaning pork, and apple, meaning pineapple. And what it really is pork stuffed, bacon wrapped pineapple. And man, I've seen some people do this. There's already some videos up on YouTube. I've seen some recipes. This looks absolutely delicious, and I think it's going to be a big hit for my family, particularly my son, whose favorite fruit is pineapple. So this is something I think he's really going to enjoy. Now what you see here are the main ingredients. There's not a whole lot of stuff you need. Obviously you need some pork. Now you can use a pork loin. You can use pork chops, which is what I'm using here, some nice lean pork chops. You can use boneless rib meat, just some type of relatively lean pork, okay? Then you're gonna need some kind of rub for the meat. You can use a store-bought rub. I'm making a homemade one that I've made many times before that only consists of 4 ingredients, and it's very delicious. And since the pineapple is sweet, I would recommend using some kind of rub that's not too sweet, else it's going to overpower it, but something that's a little bit more on the salty or spicy side. So my main rub consists of regular old salt and pepper, garlic powder, and chili powder. And then of course you need the pineapples, and then finally you need to wrap it with some bacon. And I'd recommend the thicker cut because this is going to be in the smoker probably for at least an hour. So stick around. I'm going to show you how to make this recipe step by step. Let's get cooking. So the first thing I want to show you is how to make this rub. This rub works great on pork. If you're doing pork chops, pork loin, you're going to smoke it, cook in the oven, highly recommend it, and it's very basic. So we start off with 4 tablespoons of regular old salt. I'm pouring it in a little shaker jar I have here, just so I can shake everything up when I'm done. 1 teaspoon of regular old ground black pepper. 1 tablespoon, I'm sorry. In case you guys are wondering and you don't catch what I'm saying, I'll leave the complete measurements in the video description below. So 4 tablespoons salt, 1 tablespoon pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and last but not least, 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I mean, how basic is that? The chili powder gives it a nice little reddish color. And put it in a bowl and stir it, or put it in a shaker and shake it. Now this is the pork. I took these really extra thick pork chops and I sliced them into little thin slices here. And this is what we're going to be stuffing the pineapple with. So once I get this really good and shaken, and let me open it up, just take a look and make sure everything looks good. Oh yeah, you can see in there. Now we're just going to sprinkle both sides. You know how this works. Now the reason I'm cooking the meat sous vide is because I watched a lot of videos for this online. And the one thing I learned is that a lot of people put this pork in raw. And you know, pork you got to cook at least to 140. I mean, some would argue all the way up to 165 in order to make sure it's fully cooked. But when you're trying to cook raw pork inside a fully enclosed pineapple, it's going to require a higher temperature and longer time. So a lot of people had to cook this for 4 or 5 hours at 250, 275, and what would happen is the bacon that they would wrap the pineapple in would start to get completely burnt and start to turn almost dark brown black, not very appetizing. And then of course they would stick a temperature probe through the top of the pineapple into the pork and wait until that center part of the pork was reading at least 155, 160 degrees, and the pineapple for that long and that high a heat would kind of turn to mush. And the other thing is, which you may or may not know, pineapple contains an enzyme, the juice itself, that is a natural meat tenderizer. So what I was finding out, reading some of the reviews of people that tried this recipe before, is that while they were cooking it for 3, 4, 5 hours, that raw pork, the pineapple juice would interact with the pork and it would over tenderize it to the point where they said the pork took on this really mushy, kind of unappetizing consistency. And we don't want this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook this in the sous vide bath at the lowest temperature possible to guarantee that it's fully cooked. We're going for 136 degrees for an hour and a half, as you can see. 136 is going to cook this pork rare. Now, I didn't use all my pork here. I had 4 extra chops, which I seasoned with the same homemade rub. This I actually did vacuum seal. I'm going to throw this in the freezer, and this is going to be a nice meal that I'll either cook in sous vide or maybe I'll just smoke it, you know, down the line. So you want to seal this up, try to push as much air out as possible, just leave one side open. We're going to do the water displacement method when we dunk this in the sous vide. Oops. And I'll show you there. Just push it down. You want to make sure everything's fully submerged. And sometimes that's the hardest part of cooking sous vide. And then kind of force that extra air out, and then you can seal it. There we go. And then clip it on the side somehow. Alright, it's been an hour and a half. It's just about ready to beep. But close enough. As long as you go like an hour to 2 hours, you're fine. So, to prevent this from overcooking, I mean, you don't want to put hot pork inside a cold pineapple. So we're going to cool this down. We're going to kind of shock chill it. So what I do is I just put it inside a pan, like so. I pour a little bit of cold water in it, kind of halfway cover it up. And then I just take some ice. Like I said, we're going to shock chill this. Our only purpose here is to get it down to a nice cold temperature relatively quickly. I'm going to go stick this thing in the fridge and just let it sit in there. It's going to take me probably an hour to carve out these pineapples, core them, get them all ready to go. So that'll be the perfect amount of time to let these chill in here. We don't have to leave them in there overnight or anything, just to kind of cool them down. So I'm going to go throw this in the fridge. I'll be back in a second. Got the pork in the fridge, but you know what? I need some motivation before I start slicing those pineapples. So what a better time to have? Well, normally it's a beer review, but this is actually a pineapple craft cider. I figure it's appropriate because we're doing a dish with pineapple. This is produced and bottled by California Cider Company out of Sonoma, California. 5% alcohol. Ace Pineapple Craft Cider. Now there's 2 reasons why I'm trying this today. The first reason, obviously, it makes sense. I'm making Swineapple. Might as well enjoy a alcoholic beverage made of pineapple. The second reason is because another YouTuber, CJ, I'll give a shout out to. He has a YouTube channel called Cooking with CJ. I'll leave a link below. But he had a live broadcast last week. He was kind of kicking it outside by the pool, smoking a nice cigar. I kind of felt jealous. And he was drinking this. Someone in the chat said, "Hey, what are you drinking?" And he said this. And I kind of gave him a little bit of a hard time. I said, "What is that, 3% alcohol?" And he said, no, it's 5% alcohol. I said, okay. He said, "I tried it. I really like it." So I thought, you know what? I saw it in the store. I kind of clicked. I said, you know what? I'll try it. Plus what I'm making, it's perfect. So here we go, guys. Thanks again. I appreciate you watching my video. I appreciate all the support. The first thing you can tell is this is definitely not a beer. No head whatsoever. It looks like apple juice. It kind of smells like apple juice with just a hint of pineapple. Cheers again, guys. Oh yeah. Ooh, I can taste the pineapple. Definitely pineapple. You know what? For what it is, which is a cider, and I don't really drink too many ciders. I used to 20 years ago. I remember a few girls I was dating before I was married and had kids who didn't like to drink beer. They didn't like the taste of it. But cider was a good thing that they liked. Plus it had a little bit of alcohol. So there's lots of different apple ciders, pear ciders, now pineapple cider. And I typically don't drink them because they taste good first half a glass, then I get down towards the bottom, and then the sweetness takes over. And I'm not a really sweet loving kind of guy. I like a hoppy beer, I like flavors and stuff. I don't like a lot of sweetness, and when my taste buds are tingling with overly sweet stuff, kind of turns me off. You know, I don't like a lot of sweet American candy, all that kind of stuff. But this is tasting good. I hope I don't have a sweet attack by the time I'm done. But hey, CJ, if you're watching, thanks for the recommendation. Like I said, guys, he does these live interviews with a lot of YouTube people who have cooking channels, and they do live broadcasts where people will ask questions and he'll kind of interview them. And it's a real creative way to get to know other people in the YouTube community. So check out his website. I'll leave a link below. And CJ, thanks again for the recommendation. It tastes good. All right, guys, we're going to need a couple utensils. First things, you're going to need some long skewers. And I'll show you what that's for later. Now you're going to need a long skinny knife like this when you kind of carve and try to core out that pineapple. And then if you got some kind of ice cream scooper, or you can even use a large spoon. And then of course you need a big knife for initially cutting off the top of this pineapple. Now both these pineapples I got stand up pretty nice and flat, so I'm not going to do anything with the bottom. I'm just going to slice off the top and core the inside. I've seen some people, they slice them both off and so forth. So I don't think that's necessary. So the first thing we're going to do, we want to save the top part for presentation. So we just want to kind of cut probably right around here, right when it kind of seems to even out. Just like so. It wasn't too hard. So we'll put that on the side for a minute. Now we're going to core out the center of this pineapple. Easier said than done. You can see the little round circle here where the hard core part is. But I'm just going to go around, and we want to leave a little room because we're going to be cutting off the outside part here. So maybe go, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch in, and we're just going to kind of go down as deep as you feel comfortable and just cut a little circle. And then what we're going to do is we're slowly going to spoon out the inside of this pineapple. And you want to save that inside stuff because we want to use a little bit of that juice for later on when we glaze it in the smoker. So now we're just going to take a scoop or a spoon or what have you. And see, that center part is very, very hard. And we're going to slowly start to scoop this out. So I'm going to get busy with this, and I'll be back in a second to show you how it should look like. Alright, as you can see, I cored both of these out pretty well. The next thing we want to do is cut this hard skin off like I did on this one right here. And that's easier said than done, because depending on how big you made your core, your hole here, you don't want to, you know, slice right through it. So just very carefully with a knife, just try to cut off this hard core like so. And it's going to take you probably a couple times going around. You know, initially you'll get a big piece, and then you just got to kind of go around and keep cleaning it up. So here we are with the bacon weave. Lay a piece of parchment paper, which is what I got here, butcher paper, aluminum foil, wax paper, whatever you got, because you want to have something to roll the pineapple in when you're done. So you want to lay 6 or 7 strips down like this, and it's okay to leave like, I don't know, a ½ inch. We don't have to have them right next to each other. We want a little bit of room. This is going to, as we smoke and heat it up, it's going to contract and wrap a little bit tighter, and we want a little bit of this smoke to get through. So then what we do is we just take the odd pieces and fold them back, and we'll take a new piece here. You can stretch it a little bit too if you can, like so. Easier said than done. I had this bacon sitting for around 25 minutes in the freezer. It's a little bit easier to work with when you do it like that. And then take the alternate pieces for your next piece. And you're just going to make a little pattern here. And again, don't be concerned if there's a little gap. You want a little bit of gap. You don't want it really tight. Just like so. Push it up. It's okay to see a little bit of space. Alright, so here we are. I have both pineapples cored. I sliced off the outside. Take the covers off. I just pulled the pork I had sitting in the fridge for around the last, hour and 20 minutes. It's definitely cold now, which is perfect. And now we're just going to take these strips and we're going to stuff them in here. You're just going to push it through the top and in through the side and all the way to the bottom. You don't need a lot, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 going around, just like so, just to hold it in place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off, for presentation's sake, leave a little bit so you can tell, whoops, exactly where it is that you put the skewers, so you'll be able to remove them when we're done. Alright, so here's the bacon weave. We got the pineapple stuffed. I put the skewers through. Now we're just going to lay this down and we're going to wrap this up. The easiest way is to use the paper to kind of help you roll it along. Whoops. I'm going to have a lot of excess bacon here. What I'm going to do here, just for safekeeping, I'm going to stick a couple sticks in along the way just to kind of hold this bacon in, especially when I turn it upright. Alright, here we go. I got the pineapples in my Smoke Hollow vertical cabinet style smoker. You can smoke this however you want. The bacon weave was very hard to keep on there solid. The bacon got really soft, but I kind of improvised, put some skewers in there to hold it in place. On the trays on the bottom underneath, I had a little bit extra pork, so I just put the excess pieces of pork in these aluminum pans, get a little bit of smoke on them, and also catch any drippings. So that's it. I got some hickory wood. As you can see, a light smoke is coming on. I'm going to smoke these now, probably, I would say, maybe, I'm not even sure. The pork's already cooked. Probably till the bacon gets nice and firm and brown, and I'll start glazing it with some of that leftover pineapple juice down the line when it looks like it's starting to tighten up and dry up a little bit. So the hard work is done. Now we're just going to keep it in the smoker, and we'll wait and see how this looks like in a little bit. We'll be back shortly, guys. It's been around an hour and a half. Let's take a look at this here. Whoop. Well, the bacon's not crisping up as quickly as I'd like it, but then again, it was the extra thick bacon. Let me just see if I can get a poke in the center. The meat on the bottom was fully cooked. I took that out and ate it. It was very delicious. I'm going right through the pineapple into the center, seeing the temperature. Okay, I'm only getting 100 degrees, so it's definitely warmed up from being taken out of the fridge, but it's still not cooked, which is good for me because look at it. It still doesn't look crispy enough, that bacon. So what I'm going to do now, very carefully, scoot these out a little bit, and I'm just going to start coating it with some pineapple juice. Save that. I'm going to put a little sweet glaze on it. And I'm just going to let this go. I'm in no hurry. Oh man, it does look good, man, I have to say. Yeah, the worst part was I wish the bacon weave would have been a little bit more fancy, but you know what? Once you put it on its side and slice into it, it typically falls apart anyway on your plate, so I'm not too stressed on it. See if I can get some in the back. But anyway, whew, it smells sweet and pineapple-y, if that's a word. Alright guys, there we go. I'm very happy. Let's stick these back in, and we'll come back in around half hour, 45 minutes. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I had it hovering right at around 220. Time to shoot it up to around 275 and put some turbo speed on this. So I'll crank it up. We'll be back shortly. Alright, here we are. Around 2 hours. Looks good. This one looks real nice because it's still standing up straight. My other one kind of started sagging at around an hour and 40 minutes. I had to gently lay it on its side. Most of the videos I watched of this, they were laying on the side, or they cooked them on the side because they didn't have enough room. But it sure does look nice when it's standing upright. But anyway, let me lay it on its side now. Remove all these skewers, and we'll slice into this. Be back in a moment. Alright guys, here we are. I think I removed all the skewers. Take the top off. I'm just going to slice it. Oh, there's a couple skewers here, but you know what? I'll leave what's in there now. I'm just going to try to slice it straight down the center, and then we'll split it open, take a look inside. This bacon's going to fall apart, and I might be going through a skewer. Alright. Let's see. Alright, let's go. Ooh, look at all the bacon goodness. There we go, guys. Ooh, the bacon's falling all around us. Wow, take a look at that. Does that not look delicious? Let me try to slice some slices off and we'll try this. Be back in 1 second. Alright, here we are with my son Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Hi.
He's been looking forward to it. I cut it up here. I sliced this one. This one's for later. But I put a piece of the pork, pineapple, and bacon. And I put it on your fork. Give it a shot here and then tell everyone what you think.
Oh my gosh. How do I say this? It's like...
What do you think? Wow, that pork is delicious.
It's like you're
so juicy.
It's like you make... It's like you just dump a pig into like a gallon of pineapple.
Well, there you go. It's very good. It's sweet from the pineapple, but the pork is not mushy, which I'm glad I pre-cooked it before I put it in there. The spice rub is perfect because it's a little salty added to that sweetness. What do you think?
Oh, good.
It's very good. Well, again, guys, as always, I really appreciate you watching. Well, it's good. If you liked the video, please hit like. Click the link above. It's to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com. And make sure to subscribe to this channel so you can catch all my videos. We're going to be making some more, huh, Kyle? Look up and say goodbye. Tell them again how you like it.
Oh, good.
Really good. Well, as always, guys, I really appreciate all the support. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.